Good afternoon. John is away. A Prince Albert man who was shot in the throat trying to evict a tenant from his rental property has died. Jim Primo's family shared their story with us last year after the incident. It happened on June 4th of 2025. Primo, who was 57, suffered a spinal cord injury in the shooting. The GoFundMe was set up at the time to help his family with extra expenses. Following the shooting, Preston Bird was charged with aggravated assaults, breaching a conditional sentence order, and other firearms-related charges. There is no word yet on whether he will face any upgraded charges. The provincial budget is providing a slight increase to help fight wildfires this year. The budget earmarks an extra $20 million for a total of $140 million. The province says the Public Safety Agency will receive an additional funding as a part of a 4-year commitment to purchase 4 repurposed land-based air tanker aircraft. The Prince Albert Grand Council Forestry and Protective Services says it was hoping to see more money committed to preparedness, prevention, and workforce retention. The Minister of Finance, Jim Ryder, told reporters hopefully this year's wildfire season is less severe than last year's.
It's essentially a bit of a status quo with an increase. There's another new plane coming online, water bomber coming online, so there's an increase in that regard. But hopefully we don't have the kind of year we did last year, but if we did, we will, no doubt, we will respond.
The volunteer first responders tax credit will also double from $3,000 to $6,000 in the 2026-27 budget. The Saskatchewan Teachers Federation says a closer look of the provincial budget could mean cuts for some schools. The province announced an increase of more than $62 million to school divisions yesterday, but the STF says when you look closer at the 2.6% increase, nearly all of it is going toward rising costs and enrollment growth. It says when adjusted for inflation, the increase in funding results in a decrease of $33 per student compared to last year's budget. President Samantha Beacott says a budget like this risks undoing all the progress made after a multi-year contract dispute.
Divisions are likely going to have to pull supports away from classrooms, whether it's increasing class sizes or creating more multi-grade classrooms, reducing the number of EAs, for example, in order to staff these specialized support classrooms. So adding supports is only a benefit if it doesn't take away from what we currently have.
Education Minister Everett Hinley says he's disappointed by Beacott's comments and says the government is making education a priority and nothing is being cut back. The province is spending $2 million less on Saskatchewan's Justice Department. $269 million is allocated to the Ministry of Justice in this year's budget, a drop of about 0.7% from last year. It comes as the court system faces backlogs with some high-profile Saskatoon cases taking years to get a verdict. Most notably, an impaired driving case involving a 9-year-old girl, which was stayed due to delays. Despite the slight drop in funding, the Justice Minister says the system is expanding, pointing to new hires and tech advancements.
I'm quite excited that we're able to continue to address the capacity pressures on our court system. We're adding 3 more provincial court judges. We've got 4 associate judge positions that are being created for the Court of King's Bench, and further expanding the IT infrastructure for our e-court at the Court of Appeal, as well as the case management system within the Court of King's Bench.
The province says it will also add 2 new Crown prosecutors focused on complex immigration and taxation cases. Well, Jeff, the melt is continuing.
It's continuing, although earlier this morning it wasn't melty enough because it was pretty slippery, and I found out the hard way how slippery it was. But ultimately, yes, we do have more melting going on. It will continue to melt into tomorrow, and then as we start to make our way towards the weekend, things are going to start to cool off. And yes, there is the possibility of some flurry activity, a series of cells that are going to be coming through the province. Some will be bringing rain with it, some snow, some a mix of rain and snow, and it looks like it's going to be sort of just angling through the middle part of the province and points north, so we'll talk about the details later on.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Laird Elementary, about 70 kilometers north of Saskatoon, is under review with possible grade cuts or closure on the table. Dozens filled the school gym last night for a meeting of electors where Prairie Spirit School Division and board officials outlined the review before residents shared concerns with trustees. The board says the review was triggered by declining enrollment and the condition of the building. Under division policy, reviews can be launched when K-8 enrollment falls below 51 students. Laird now has 35. The school also needs roof repairs and a new HVAC system estimated at $1.5 million. Yesterday, the province announced funding for roof repairs, which is now a factor in the review. How much and whether it includes HVAC upgrades remains unclear.
In the coming days and weeks, we will have meetings with the ministry to kind of detail what that looks like and what it means for Laird School.
We wanted to identify some funding for that, if that would assist in terms of being able to help repair that school. But we do understand the division and the board has a process to go through as well.
Residents CTV News spoke with say the school plays a key role in the community and would be a major loss if it closed. The board is expected to make a decision April 20th. Prince Albert residents are being encouraged to report potholes as the weather warms. The city is reminding people that with the spring thaw, they will likely notice more potholes in the city. It says crews are monitoring road conditions and doing temporary fixes, but because of the ongoing freezing and thawing, the repairs aren't permanent. People can report areas of concern on the city's website or by calling the Solutions Hub. The Saskatchewan government says it respects the decision by independent prosecutors to stay charges against a woman who calls herself the Queen of Canada. Romana Didalo had been charged with failing to comply with an undertaking and intimidating a justice participant. She leads a group whose members were occupying a former school in the building in the town of Richmond for nearly 2 years. The charges came after a September 2025 raid on the former school building. Justice Minister Tim MacLeod says the decision to stay the charges after further consideration by prosecutors.
There was no reasonable likelihood of conviction, and when that's the case, the proper thing to do is to stay the charge. We respect that public prosecutions constantly evaluates the strength of their case and the evidence that's been gathered, and if they came to the conclusion that there's no reasonable likelihood of conviction in that matter, then the stay of proceedings would be directed.
The Justice Minister says the former school building in Richmond remains under a public health order and cannot be occupied. He encouraged the community to consider using new legislation that targets nuisance properties to deal with it. Still to come, we find out how the community can stand up against racism. And later, a look at a record-setting player on the ice from years ago.
We are at the Prince Albert Multicultural Council building with Lamoya to talk about the upcoming Prince Albert Rises Against Racism with art and storytelling. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's coming up this weekend. Could you just sort of give a brief rundown on what it is?
Oh, yes. So every year for the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, we have an event, an anti-racism event. And right now we're in partnership with the Multicultural Council of Saskatchewan, Commonweal, and we are organizing the event on March 20th. The International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination is a United Nations recognized holiday. And this year we just wanted to have an interactive event where people could hear from Paula Collins, who owns Masala Modeling out of Saskatoon. She's a community leader. She has organized anti-racism events in Saskatoon. She's also offered leadership and empowerment classes towards BIPOC youth, women, and adults of all ages and backgrounds. And then we're also having Marcy Friesian, who is a Welsh and Métis artist who teaches beadwork. And this year, the interactive part is that people will be beading themselves on their skin. Marcy uses a special glue, and she shares stories from her life and her experience. So between Paula and and Marcy. I think it's just going to be really a wonderful event. It's a free event. We also serve dinner, but we do keep the anti-racism theme. So we will discuss just where Prince Albert stands in terms of racism. For some reason, sadly, these days, the issue of anti-racism is more important than ever. Yet, it's almost become a taboo word in some circles. I think trends in politics have changed tremendously. So we really want to have the group discuss what their feelings are, but we want to create a safe space and recognize that everyone is in a different level on their anti-racism journey. As a metaphor, the beadwork fits in perfectly because I always reference the mosaic. I come from the U.S. I'm now a Canadian citizen, and I was so impressed with the concept of a mosaic, that each separate culture could have its unique identity that weaves into a greater tapestry. So as people do their beadwork, it is representative of what we want to convey.
How would you explain anti-racism to someone who's maybe not super familiar with that concept?
So anti-racism is that conscious commitment to recognize that racism exists in many levels within our culture, within our society, and to willingly make a conscious decision to combat it. Every person has different approaches, and as I mentioned, people are in different levels in their journeys. So some might combat it by going to a protest or rally. Some might combat it through their art or poetry or writing, addressing a relative who might use a discriminatory word or term, or who might not like people for their background, their skin color, their ethnicity, their race.
With the event coming up, how do people find out more information?
You don't need a ticket. It is a come-and-go event, but we do encourage participants to go to the Eventbrite page. We have an Eventbrite link. It's on our posters. It's also on our social media page. You can also call us and we can register you. It's good for us to know who's attending because food is served. So yeah, just go directly to our website. You can also go to the Multicultural Council of Saskatchewan, to their website. I believe Commonweal is sharing it. It's also on the Community Networking Coalition. Or just come to our Facebook page and say, hi, I want to attend your event, and we'll get you registered. I really want the public to understand that anti-racism efforts benefit all of us because everyone in this society contributes in a different way.
Well, thanks for your explanations, and thanks for having me out here.
Okay, thank you.
Coming up, a Saskatchewan woman with a neurological condition finds ways to help others, the support network she is creating, and the difference she is hoping to make. Jeff, we are closer to the weekend. Many people wondering if you've fixed Saturday yet.
Yeah, no, but hey, still got a day. I still have a day. But right now, it looks as though a series of disturbances are coming through Chantal, and it looks like Prince Albert and Saskatoon and points north. Not all the way north, but there's going to be sort of an area in the middle that's really going to be feeling the effect of these disturbances that are making their way through. The relentless rain continues out in British Columbia slowly. Emphasis on the word slowly tapering off. It will still be a soggy weekend, but it won't be quite as nasty in terms of the downpours as and we also have strong winds. And so these winds, these downsloping winds, are really driving the warmth into Saskatchewan. So a lot of that warm Pacific air gets scrubbed out of the, much of the moisture gets scrubbed away by the mountains, and then kabam, we've got ourselves some warm temperatures. But spring officially arrives tomorrow, and we're just sort of, spring is smashing into winter, and we've got the weather to prove that. So as you can see in our future cast, forecast a series of disturbances, as I keep using that turn of phrase, but they are going to be disturbing in some respects because not everybody wants this snow or rain. -2 degrees overnight for Spirit Woods, 0 in the Battlefords and Rostern, -1 the overnight temperature in Candle Lake and Birch Hills. And we are talking about partly cloudy skies. There might be a little bit of flurry activity, or I should say showers, and the possibility of some fog patches in the overnight in the region. -2 for Nipawin and Melfort, only dropping down to 0 degrees, so it's sort of hanging around the freezing mark in the overnight. Tomorrow, temperatures don't jump up a whole lot, but they do get into the plus side of the thermometer. 1 degree in Spiritwood, North Battleford and the Battlefords region dealing with a rain snow mix. Spiritwood dealing with some flurries. Just cloudy conditions for Candle Lake and Nipawin. Temperatures of 2 degrees, 2 as well in Birch Hills and Rostern, but Birch Hills and Rostern could likely see some flurry activity as we make our way into Friday. And a similar situation sky-wise for Melfort, but a high of just 1 degree, so just slightly above seasonal for those most of those areas. So tonight, a possibility of some fog patches showing up around or just after midnight for the Prince Albert region. 60% chance of drizzle and winds out of the west 20 and sort of backing off in the overnight. And the important thing to remember that with that drizzle, temperatures are backing off to the minus side. So yes, we could have some slippery conditions, so please be careful. Cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of just 2, so some of that ice that may show up will melt, but it's not going to be a continuously warm situation, as we'll see moments from now. Winds out of the northeast at 15. So here's our 7-day forecast, and as you can see, we do dip below the 0 degree mark as we make our way into Saturday. A 50% chance of flurries, -3 degrees, -1 on Sunday, -2 to start the work week, and then Tuesday, yeah, it gets even colder. Basically, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday hanging around that -8 degree mark, and Wednesday comes with a 50% chance of some flurry activity. So yes, we do have a series of disturbances coming through, and you know it's unsettled as we get into the first part of spring.
Yeah, well, you are working on it, so we'll see.
Working on it.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, the Saskatchewan Huskies will challenge for a men's national hockey title this weekend. Saskatchewan has produced some great hockey talent over the years, but one seems to get overlooked, even though he set records. Matt Young with some rare footage in this week's Classic Sports Moments.
Willie Desjardins probably didn't care someone accidentally spelt his name wrong in giant yellow 73-point font on a 13-inch power-hungry CRT TV set with a wood-style finish in 1983. And that's likely because he was too busy setting records. Before his coaching days of the NHL, Desjardins, from the small village of Climax, Saskatchewan, did big things for hockey in the province. You're looking at rare footage of his time with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies hockey team. And check out that cool logo. In 1983, he set a Canadian University playoff scoring record, getting 11 points in the final tournament. The Huskies would defeat the Concordia Stingers 6-2 in the championship game, with Desjardins setting up Randy Weeb for the 6th goal of the game for the U of S. Desjardins was named the most valuable player of the tournament, impressing coach Dave King at the time. And he would eventually move on to a coaching career that included time with the Saskatoon Blades in 1997, 3 seasons in the NHL with the Vancouver Canucks, and 1 with the LA Kings. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood-finished televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A Saskatoon woman is using her diagnosis of a common but not often talked about neurological condition to support others. Kim Lamarant was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, or FND, after surgery a year ago caused additional nerve damage. She says she quickly learned that there weren't a lot of resources available and she was left on her own to find support. She had to quit her job because the flare-ups from the disorder were too unpredictable and started up the Functional Neurological Disorder Support Network. She hopes it will help people affected to feel less alone.
It was scary. I had no idea what functional neurological disorder was. I was diagnosed and basically just sent on my way. So not told what causes it really or how to navigate it. It was scary and isolating.
Psychologist Tyson Sawchuk says the work Lamarant is doing to develop a support network for FND patients will help many people across the country. Saskatchewan's Farm Stress Line is merging with the National Farmer Crisis Line ahead of the upcoming growing season. The Farm Stress Line, which was previously handled by Mobile Crisis Services, will now be operated by the Sask Ag Matters Mental Health Network. The organization will be getting $200,000 in provincial funding as a result. Farmers will still have free access around the clock to confidential mental health supports. Sask Ag Matters says it's ready to take on the responsibility.
We are very excited about this endeavor and this collaboration between the Ministry of Agriculture and our current government, and kind of reaching out and providing agricultural mental health services.
The Farm Stress Line was founded in 1992 by the Ministry of Agriculture, aimed at supporting farmers and ranchers through difficult times. The transition is effective April 1st.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Well, Jeff, it seems Canada is not as happy as it once was. The University of Oxford's annual World Happiness Report ranks Canada at 25. That is its worst ever spot on that list. The report looked at life satisfaction standards. 10 years ago, Canada ranked as 10th in the world. Young people are even more depressed, with researchers pointing to heavy social media use as a key contributor to the decline in well-being for young people, especially for teenage girls in English-speaking countries and in Western Europe. Finland is the happiest country in the world for the 9th year in a row, with several Nordic countries following in the top 10. But I know you're working hard on a better forecast, so that'll make us happy.
Yeah,
right?
I'm endeavoring to raise the level of happiness with a better forecast. But right now, things look like we're sliding into a bit of a cooling situation, Chantel. As you can see, after the mild conditions we've had to start in spring, because spring arrives tomorrow at about 8:46 in the morning our time. But then things do cool off.
All right, CTV National News is next. We're back at 6.